It is choosing time for Donald Trump, and his chances of becoming president just may hang in the balance. For starters, we've said this here before, there's no excuse for any candidate for president not to release his or her tax returns. But now we have a glimpse into just what Donald Trump might not want you to know. The New York Times obtained summaries, the state front pages of Trump's 1995 taxes. They show that in 1 year, Trump claimed more than $916 million in losses. His casinos were losing money, his airline was a failure, and he made some bad real estate buys. Plus, tax experts consulted by the Times said such a big loss and the way Trump takes legal advantage of loopholes and tax credits could have allowed him to avoid paying federal income taxes for up to 18 years. Hillary Clinton made a big issue, you remember, of Trump's secrecy in the first debate. And remember, this is what he told CNN's Dana Bash after.
It sounds like you admitted that you hadn't paid federal taxes and that was smart. Is that what you meant to say?
No, I didn't say that at all. I mean, if they say I didn't, I mean, it doesn't matter. I will say this. I hate the way our government spends our taxes.
What now? What now? And I want to say Donald Trump's up early this morning tweeting about this story. He says at 7:22, I know our complex tax law is better than anyone who's ever run for president, and I'm the only one who can fix them. Does not give us any more information. Does not say the Times account is absolutely right. They found his old accountant who said, yep, those are them. Those are legit. You know, there's a debate a week from now, and we have between now and then the vice presidential candidates debate. The pressure on Trump to show us more, especially more recent, is going to be huge.
Well, I mean, I think he probably was very unlikely to release his tax returns at all had this not come out. I mean, I actually kind of think it makes it harder for him because right now there's an insinuation that he may not have paid taxes for 18 years. If he releases more documentation, we will know for sure, and it's likely to show that he didn't or potentially worse. So he's in a bind right now, and they're doing, I think, probably the best they can by spinning it as a case of him doing what's legally allowed to him. But I think voters are going to look at this situation and ask themselves, $900 million in losses, and the first thing that you did was essentially not pay taxes. You are not like us.
I mean,
so it's a real liability.
And it really goes at the heart of the attack on Donald Trump and also the centerpiece of his campaign, that he's a good businessman. And that's one of the biggest things that the Clinton campaign is seizing on right now, saying that, look, he almost lost $1 billion in 1 year. That undermines his entire candidacy. So tax questions aside, which frankly, they're actually not even denying that he may not have paid taxes for this long. They're not confirming or denying. And you could assume that if this was wrong, they'd be furiously denying this account. But it does, I think, the bigger issue is on his business record, which is, of course, what he's running for president.
It's also how he talks about it. I think it was a Washington Post story last week, right after the debate from North Carolina, where when Donald Trump bragged about not paying taxes because he was smart, there was a gasp in the room. Right. I think people really look at that, and they look at their own balance sheets, and it makes him less relatable, and it makes him look like he's getting away with something that average everyday Americans have to do every April, whether they like it or not.
And there's a record of Trump. You know, just a year ago, he tweeted about how hedge fund managers pay almost nothing on their taxes, and they need to be held to account. So Trump now, you know, we know, was not paying taxes for a long period of time. And I agree. I mean, I think the business record is another thing that the Clinton campaign will seize upon. $1 billion is the GDP of some small countries, you know. And Trump was saying that he lost that amount in 1995, and that is going to be a huge issue, I think, for him going forward.
And the little guy is his base of support. The white working class he has other support. It's not just that, but it's the base of his support. And they could look at this. Look, there's no indication that Donald Trump did anything illegal. There's every indication that he took advantage of carryover loss. You carry over loss as you go forward. There's all these things set up. They have lobbyists to help them for rich real estate investments so that they can write things off and carry over losses. But if you're the little guy, you don't get to keep your private jet. You don't get to keep your penthouse. You don't get to keep your lifestyle of the rich and famous if you're having a bad year. And so that, I think, is one of the openings here. And to the point about the business acumen, Hillary Clinton knows from the Republican primaries, and she did it in the first debate, that's what gets under his skin. In their campaign statement, they said, now the gig is up. Why doesn't he go ahead and release his tax return to show us how smart he really is? They're trying to poke him.